just listening in.
Jump out and surprise you.
Male or female?
Male.
And have you, like, you've been friends for a while? Don't say anything. Be careful what you say about him.
Sorry, he's already told me, like, I'm not going to watch. Like, don't be offended if I don't watch these, right? It's fine. Totally fine.
Yeah.
Well, we're friends now, but originally I just found him on Flatmate Finders.
Okay.
And now he's been here for about 5 years. So
cool, amazing.
Worked
That's
out
really
well.
good. Must be a good housemate.
Yeah.
Have you generally had? Is this your first housemate, or you've had housemates over the years?
I had one. So I used to live with my cousin.
Yeah.
And then my friend moved in when we were kind of still newish, and then we ended up becoming best mates. So that was fun living with them. And then when I moved here, I got a housemate, but he was from England, and he was a bit slack on getting onto his paperwork for permanent residency.
Okay.
So he ended up getting kicked out of the country. So,
ouch.
I know, just like I hate paperwork and all that stuff.
Yeah, I know.
But if it's going to mean that I get to live where I want to live,
correct.
Maybe get onto that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I had quite a bit involved when I was doing my visa to go and live in Italy, and I went into, speaking of housemates, I via a friend had got introduced to an older gentleman, Massimo, amazing guy in Rome, who had a spare room, and there were two or three housemates at that time living in there, and it was such in a place called San Giovanni in Rome, an amazing little area near the Colosseum. So I was hoping that these housemates were going to be, like that it was going to be a good vibe, etc. Because I loved the area when I saw it, and then when I went and saw the room with Massimo, it was just great. It was perfect, but the housemates weren't there, so I kind of had to make a call because they were obviously off working and things like that, without meeting them. And I guess I was just, another country. I spoke the language, so that helped. But I was just a little bit kind of, I trust my friend. He wouldn't introduce me to blah, 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 blah. And then I just went in, and it was incredible. I had awesome, amazing housemates. And the only thing I was worried about first, there was only one bathroom. And it turns out then there was four of us. Yeah. But because I was the only one that was really I was mainly kind of living tourist life and then got a little bit of work. The other guys were working. So there was never really a problem. We had different times and different hours and stuff like that. So, but mainly one of the guys that lived there, we became good friends with. And even when I've gone back to Rome over the last few years, like we've had dinner and gone out. And so that's a really kind of nice experience. And I never forget, this might be a bit cheeky, but what the hell? When I was leaving the last night, I remember it was quite people get, even coming from a European background, I don't know in general, but I got quite emotional. They all got emotional when I was leaving. Aww. It was like, okay. And we had to make that call. Like we're standing in the kitchen and it's like, I'm going to fly out tomorrow. It's time to go to bed, and, we just had to get it over and done with. And, said goodnight. And, I'd spent almost a year there and it was an incredible time with them. And then I was waking up to fly out. When I woke up in the morning, obviously much earlier than them, my housemate had left a little piece of paper with a note saying, just in case you get lucky on the plane. And then there was a condom
on the plane. Nice.
And he put a condom inside the I was like, trust him to do that.
And did you get to use it?
No, I did not get to use it on the plane.
Didn't make it to the Mile High Club?
Damn it. But yeah, I thought that was clever. And that was really funny. Nice. And it's good that we've still got a relationship from that.
Yeah.
That's what I love about traveling. You never know who you're going to meet. Keep in contact with. You might need a room, or you might need they might need a room when they're here, and it's just good to keep in contact with.
Yeah, for sure.
You've traveled a bit overseas. I think you'd mentioned.
Yeah, I have. I've mostly done Southeast Asia because I just use my school holidays, and I
Yeah.
love summer and beaches and affordable things.
Yeah.
Um, then I did India and Sri Lanka. So India was amazing. Loved it.
Yep.
And yeah, met some great people there as well because I did an Intrepid tour.
Yep.
So there was, yeah,
Nice.
great people on that, and a few other girls from Melbourne as well, which was nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, this year I was supposed to broaden my horizons and go to Mexico for my brother-in-law's 40th.
Mexico.
Yeah, so we're going to go to LA for a week or so with all my family.
Yep.
And then Mexico to this like all-inclusive resort.
Oh,
And just live it up.
Yeah.
And then I was planning on an Intrepid tour like around Mexico and down through some other countries around there.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
Had you actually booked anything, or you
I booked my flight to LA and my hotel in Mexico. So they were both easy. The hotel was free cancellation, and yeah, I got the stuff back for the flight, so that was fine. That was all easy enough. But like, I had my long service leave booked. I was going to use some of that, and I was excited to go somewhere new. And
absolutely,
yeah.
I could just imagine. I hadn't quite booked anything. There was no real plan for me to be overseas this year. I did a good trip last year, but it was still open-ended. But I really, I certainly feel for. I had a friend through work who came up to me when we were still, I think it was just before the first or in between the second lockdown, when I was back at work for a bit. And she came up to me and she's like, "Oh, Frank, I just got a reminder on my phone." I was like, "Oh, what was the reminder?" She's like, "I was flying out to Spain today." She goes, "I must have had this reminder, never cancelled it." And she goes, "What a bloody reminder to get."
No, it sucks, doesn't it?
She was traveling for a couple of months and doing Barcelona, San Sebastian, and all these places I'd been to also. So I didn't even know what to say.
I know, like, oh, that sucks. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, would have been amazing. I've done that. So look, hopefully for you and for her, you can next year, depending on how things go.
Yeah, my friend was supposed to move to the US and like gave up her apartment, sold everything, was about to go, and then had to cancel her flight like a day or two beforehand. So that sucked. But luckily, we kind of made a last minute decision at the end of last year to go to Vietnam.
Yep.
So it wasn't in the plans, but we're like, all right, why not?
Why not?
So yeah, we went over there for New Year's and went around for a couple of weeks. So I'm super glad that I did that now.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because I was kind of, I'll always take an opportunity, but also I was saving for Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm glad I was like, you know what, I don't have that much money for it, but screw it, I'll do it anyway.
Yeah, of course. It was my 30th last year, so I did a couple of trips. So it was I'm really thankful that, the way things worked out, at least I got a couple of trips in there.
Yeah. Was that just your, special year, or treat myself?
Well, it was, I remember originally, the boys were like, my birthday falls in March. And, we were thinking of going to Europe last year, which ended up going July, August. And I said to them, I'd love to do something for my birthday, but let's just do something local, like financially, if we're going to Europe, like, don't get any ideas with Vegas, because it's not happening, boys. Ruff, ruff, ruff.
Yes, that's my dog. There's probably his arch nemesis just walked past.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just saw him through the window.
Good on him. And yeah, we were sort of talking, and then Thailand came up, and there were these cheap airfares. Well, cheap at the time, but what happened was, so we ended up booking these flights to Bangkok. Yeah. Right. Super fun, awesome city. You've got like the 5-star, and then you've got kind of the lower end. It was awesome to do between both. Amazing, like sky gardens and rooftops, and one of the rooftops we went on was where they filmed The Hangover.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
I think we had a few spritz and it was like $500. But,
Okay.
I swear it was like $50 a spritz. It was so expensive.
Sure, it wasn't $500.
It was expensive. No. It was expensive. It was
Okay.
probably a good $40 to $50 for a drink. I mean, but the
For a drink
a drink
in Thailand.
Yeah,
Are you sure? Are you sure you got your facts right?
But we're in like the main top rooftop, as I said to you, where The Hangover was filmed in Bangkok.
Okay.
If you see a photo of this place, look it up. Look it up.
All right.
You'll realize why it's.
I've never spent that much money in Thailand before.
Oh well, go to this place in Bangkok and you'll see.
Okay.
That's the thing is you've got this really, like, as I said, this high end in Bangkok, and then you've got, and we did like a bit of both. For my birthday, we had a booth with some drinks at a bar, and and then we had other things which weren't it was relatively overall, and I think we were there 5-6 days, cheap. The most expensive part was probably only the night of my birthday at this rooftop bar.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was relatively cheap. But we had got some $500 return airfares with Jetstar.
Ooh, return.
That was the whole point of going. We got to the airport late.
That was worth the expensive drinks. Just pretend they were the airfare.
Correct. Oh no, but it got expensive. We got to the airport late, thanks to my mates, and we had to pay $800 on top of the airfare to go with Thai Airways, just so that we could make it there the same day, because we obviously had bookings.
So you missed your flight.
We missed our flight.
Oh, and you had to buy new tickets.
$800. So steam is coming out of my ears. My mates are like, we're going to have a cigarette. Frank, we'll just leave Frank in the airport.
So 800 each.
800 each with Thai Airways. But the flip side of that was all-inclusive food, drink.
I like Thai Airways.
So look, we made up for it. I was pretty pissed at the time because my dad was a travel agent for years, and one thing about my dad was always about being on time, being early for an international flight. And they were like, I think in their mind they were thinking, oh, Jetstar, it's all good domestic. It ain't domestic. This is international.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a.
But were you super excited when you got there?
Oh, 100%. And the boys really turned around the trip. Like, as I said, $50 Aperol spritz at the sky deck, totally worth it.
Ridiculous.
But the view.
I've only missed one flight, and that was to Queensland. And it was the same thing. Like, do I wait until the flight tomorrow, or do I pay extra and go tonight? And in the end, I'm like, well, I've got to get home again and then get back to the airport in the morning, or pay for a hotel for the night that's close to the airport. And I was like, fine, I'll just hand over the money. And it's like, I don't know, it's so annoying. And I don't like parting with money for what feels like nothing. I've already paid for it. But when I got there, like, I was so excited and just.
That's the thing. You don't also want it to ruin your trip. Like, I was obviously upset. Because I think, that would have been an $800 that, in somewhere like absolutely in Thailand can last a lot.
Yeah.
Depending where you're going. But it's
not to the Sky Lounge.
Just the Sky Lounge. Oh, but so worth it. So good. We did not have dinner there for that reason. We actually got a nice meal. I can't remember where. It was great, relative, reasonable price. If we wanted to have dinner there, God knows what the price was.
Should have just gone to Bangla Road or whatever it is. Or is that the one? No, that's the one in Phuket, I think.
I can't remember I can't actually remember where we ate that night. I mean, the thing that sticks out was the sky deck. That was so cool. But yeah,
there's a street in Bangkok that's in the beach. It's like the party street.
Oh, okay.
And you know the movie The Beach?
Yes. Maybe I went there. I just didn't know the street at the time.
Maybe. Yeah. So
there was a lot of dancing. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So this is the street that I think is just, it's full of all the dodgy nightclubs. Yeah. And I think it's the part of the movie where he goes there and he's just like, this is horrible.
Yes. I think I might have gone to a show on that street.
Oh, what type of show, Frank?
I can't remember. I'm really not sure. No.
Is there any
can't quite remember.
Table tennis tables or anything related to that?
Maybe in the distance there was. I really can't.
You didn't
recall.
see a few ping pong balls roll past.
No. I might have heard a
No.
few things, but just I can't recall. Big night. Uh, but yeah, look, it's that one kind of thing. I remember even last year, didn't miss a flight, thankfully, overseas in Europe, but lost my luggage. Out of me and the boys, I lost my luggage, and I was shattered because we were going from Mykonos via London to Ibiza in Spain,
Mhm.
and I remember getting on the plane from Mykonos. I put thongs on. It was hot. It was warm. We got on the plane and we're going via London. So in London, I get to the desk to transit and get my luggage to put it to Ibiza. And they were like, we can't find your luggage. I was like, what do you mean you can't find my luggage, right? The boys have got their luggage. It's all good, right?
Yeah, and they're like, hurry up. Like,
Anyway,
let's just get out of here.
Correct. They didn't know if it was still in Mykonos, if it had got on. You imagine London, huge airport. Which airport? Heathrow, I think it was, or Gatwick, can't remember. And anyway, I'm like, okay, hopefully within a day or so they're going to let me know. But of course, I had thongs on. So
how long were you staying in London?
We were just transiting for like an hour or two and going to Ibiza. But I had to get some shoes because we were landing on Ibiza late. And how was I going to go out with thongs?
Oh, right. I get you.
So there was
there
was a JD Sports.
Did your friends not have shoes they could lend you?
Yeah, well, I wanted to have a pair of shoes anyway, just to I didn't know how long my luggage was going to be missing for. Right. So I thought I'll get a pair of Vans. They're a good option. Mm-hmm. They certainly. I had T-shirts and they borrowed me other things because then I ended up not getting my luggage for a week. But that's another story. But I got a pair of Vans at the airport, and I was like, hell yeah, this is great. When I went to put them on the plane, they wouldn't quite fit in the compartment with my mini luggage. So I still had a mini luggage with a couple of things in there, thankfully.
Oh, okay.
Right? Put it up, and then the air hostess was like, oh, don't worry, I'll put the JD. They were in a yellow, like very recognizable bag, just a few compartments up. Mm-hmm. Get off the plane. The only pair of shoes I've got, I forget them. Get out of the terminal. These shoes go missing. Worst night. Anyway, the next day was great because I ended up buying another pair of shoes. Right. And these shoes never turned up. Believe it or not, 6 months later, I'm back in Australia at this point. I get an email from like a global, I'd registered them as lost and found. Don't ask me how they found them 6 months later.
6 months later?
Someone emails me and says, we found these shoes 6 months later.
What are they like?
I have no idea. Well, we're talking about Spain. Anything Europe, Italians, Greece, Spain. There's not the system over there, just God knows.
But I would have thought they would do a quick check at the end of the flight. Is there anything left over?
I went to the airport. I went to the airport the next day.
Yeah.
Nada, nothing. And I still haven't got my luggage, obviously. So anyway, so I emailed the lady back and I said, look, by the time the postage and this and that, thank you so much. I said, but if you have a brother or a boyfriend that's a size 9, please give it to them because I'm brand new. So every time I see a pair of Vans now, I kind of go, oh yeah, I had a pair of them for about 5 minutes.
But brings back the trauma.
And then my luggage arrived when our next stop in Amsterdam. So it was, and I remember having a photo hugging it, like I was in my glory. But between the boys, like other than the shoes, like they were awesome, helped me out. And once again, you can't let those things ruin your trip because
you can't. But at the same time, it's like
it was a bummer.
Only piece of when you're traveling, it's the only thing that's yours and it's home and that.
Yeah. And you feel comfortable with your own things and you know what you've got in. And then I was questioning, what have I actually got in there? Have I got something really valuable that I didn't even realize? Like I was thinking, what have I packed?
Yeah. Did I accidentally pack some drugs in there?
What have I packed in there? Did someone slip something in there? Correct.
Yeah.
That $20,000 watch, did I pack it in there? Who knows?
You were just going to tell them that anyway, weren't you? So actually, I had a $20,000 watch in here.
Yeah.
Insurance, where's that?
Insurance, that watch I had. Do you have a photo of it? Unfortunately, I don't. I've never taken a photo of this watch.
No.
So yeah, good times. But that's traveling for you. There's so many ups and downs, and they're all part of, at least, you know, when you come back and you talk to people about travel stories, no matter how, you know, maybe from the bad experiences, they're always a good story to tell after.
Story, exactly.
Always
Love those sorts of things. Traveling, dating, like the bad things are always a good story. Look at the bright side.
Absolutely. Nothing like a bad date. Yeah. Also, they're always a good story to tell after.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's your worst date?
Worst date. Actually, I was just trying to think. I've never really had a really bad one, but one came to mind that wasn't good either, in the sense that it was back when I was living in St Kilda, quite a few years back. And I had gone on a date with a girl that I'd met through events. So we actually knew each other. Call it we were friends.
Yeah.
But there was maybe a bit of an interest there. So we went on a date to one of the local pubs in St Kilda. And as we're sitting there, just enjoying having a drink and having a good conversation, out of the corner of my eye, I see a girl that I had dated, I think, like 6 months or a year prior.
Okay.
And she was a little bit older than me also. And the context of our look, it was a bit of fun. We'd gone on a few dates, and, you know, I don't think I need to give you the details. But she turned out to,
you happened to fall into the same bed, and then it ended later.
Who knows? The rest is history. Right.
Okay.
Then it became a little bit of a situation where she was kind of stalking me a bit. I'd upload something on Facebook or and she'd be like, "Oh, that's a nice shirt. Where did you get that from? Oh, are you at that bar? Like, why didn't you tell me?" It was just getting It was getting a little bit strange. Anyway, I was lovely girl. I was like, I just don't think, you know.
Hang on, can I just ask? Did you like make it clear that you weren't interested anymore, or did you kind of lead her on and then just kind of ghost her, and that's why she was trying to get your attention?
It was definitely clear that it was because we had a conversation prior to anything else, that it was
good,
pretty much fun, and that was it.
Okay.
Right. So it just it kind of started taking a little bit of a turn, and then she's at the corner of my eye, this girl, whilst I'm on the other date, and she just comes and sits down with us.
Oh.
And she's like, "How are you, Frank? You know, how's things? What's going on?" And I'm like,
just trying to get your attention.
You know, and without mentioning names, I'm like, "Oh, hi." And I said, "This is my friend." And, you know, it was just a bit. And after, you know, a few, I swear it was a good 5 minutes. She gets up and she leaves. And the first thing my date says to me, she goes, "Frank, who is Crazy Eyes?" Right?
Who was Crazy Eyes? Yeah.
Who was Crazy Eyes? She said to the girl I was on a date with. Yeah. And I said, "Look, it's a long story, but the short version is kind of this." Anyway, we wrapped up our drink and we were getting ready to leave. As I was on my way out, she was kind of just ahead of me, the girl from the past. And my current date was like, "Oh, look, I'll wait outside, just like so you can say bye." So as I was going to say bye, she looks at me and she goes, "It was so nice to see you tonight, Frank." And I was like, "Yeah, it was really nice to see you too. Like, you know, I hope you've been well." And she just looked straight at me and she goes, "Just kiss me." And I was like, I was like, think quick. I was like, "Look, I'm getting nervous thinking about it now." I was like, "Look, that wouldn't be appropriate. It was nice to see you." Gave her a hug, kiss on the cheek, and left.
Okay. All right. Good answer. Good way of dealing with it.
I actually expected to hear from her. I thought I might have heard from her, but there was no kind of follow up, which was good because it was, you know, the way things had kind of ended. It wasn't that it was bad. It was just, clearly we weren't sort of
On the same page.
on the same page. So that was a pretty interesting and odd date at the same time. What about you? Anything on that level or?
Probably my most interesting one, or one of my most interesting. So met this guy online, I think. So we'd organised to have dinner. He knew a lovely restaurant at the casino, so we'll have dinner there. Okay, fine. So
sounds classy.
yeah, right. So I was running like 10 minutes late because there was traffic everywhere in the city, and my friend was dropping me off. And in that 10 minutes, like by the time I got there, he'd lost like $700 just in that 10 minutes. And I was like, whoa.
Oh, I was gonna say,
Okay.
why was he carrying $700? I
Oh
get
no,
it, the casino.
like at the casino.
Yes,
he
got it.
played roulette and lost $700
Okay.
in 10 minutes.
Red flag. Anyway.
Yeah, right. But like because I met up with my friend during the day and I didn't end up going home. So I'm like, all right, I need to buy myself an outfit for this date because I'm not going home.
Why
so
not?
I'm like,
of course.
bought a new outfit, done myself up.
Embrace it.
Not gonna leave straight away.
Cool.
So anyway, then turns out he's a member of the casino, and so we're going to this restaurant in the members section. And then there was a bit of like a 20-minute wait or something on the table. And so there was a roulette table in there. So, let's play roulette for a bit while we wait. I'm okay with that. I'm not a big gambler, but if it's someone else's money, it's more fun. So
of course.
So he's trying to win his money back, and he's asking for my input of numbers. So I was giving him a number each go, and then I was starting to get a bit over it. I'm like, all right, is dinner ready yet? Like, I'm hungry.
Yeah, correct.
I've had enough.
I didn't sign up for this.
I didn't sign up for this. So I was doing quite well, and then.
But if you win, give me your money.
No, like I don't. Not if you win, you pay for dinner.
Well, if he's a gentleman, he should have paid for it anyway.
But yeah, so then he did there was the new spin or whatever, and he's like, all right, what's your number? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, 12. And so he put his things in, and then it was like, no more bets. And I was like, oh, it's going to be 5 though. And he's like, you can't say that. And I'm like, sorry, like I'm just saying, like it's going to be 5.
Yeah.
And then rolled up, it was 5. And then he's like, oh, what the hell? I'm like, yeah, sorry. And then he was trying to tell me about all the strategy in roulette. And I'm trying to tell him that mathematically there's no strategy. It's like the same chance every time of it landing on any number.
Yeah.
But I'm wrong. No, there's definitely strategy. And if these numbers come up, then these numbers are more likely to come up later.
Yeah.
Anyway, then we go for drinks later, like still in the casino area, and he goes to the bathroom and disappears for quite a while. And so I'm just there by myself going, what the hell? He eventually comes back. And then later I realized he was gone for so long because he went to the ATM to get extra money to try and, top himself up so he can win his money back.
I was thinking something else, but anyway, yep.
What were you thinking?
God knows what he was doing in that bathroom. But anyway, mate, he was getting money out.
Well, that's what I assumed from what happened next. Is then we decided he was enjoyable to talk to. Like I was having a good time. And,
and sometimes that's the thing. You kind of connect and you have an enjoyable time anyway. It's just may not be beyond that. And at least that's something. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm like, whatever, I'll go along with it. He's
correct.
entertaining, whatever.
Yeah. As long as he's somewhat good company, then it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah. So then we're going to leave there and go to St Kilda because we're going to go to some bar there. On our way out, walk past a roulette table. Oh, my numbers are up. And so then I'm like, are you serious? And he sits down and starts playing. And I'm like, all right, 5 minutes. Okay,
I'm done after that.
Honestly.
Yeah.
5 minutes comes and goes. I'm texting my friend, like, what the hell am I doing here? And then he's like, oh, I bet you're texting your friend, like, and I'm like, yeah. Trying to
get out of it.
Yeah. In the end, I left him there. I'm like, nah, see that? He stayed stayed at the table, watched me walk away.
See ya.
I'm like, yeah, like what the hell?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well,
So that was
that's
the
great.
most like,
Well,
entertaining date failure.
well, sounds bad dates. It's probably a good way to end it because apparently our virtual time has come to an end.
Oh, virtual time is up.
Virtual time is out. Bad dates. Good ending.
Hopefully this doesn't fit into like, top 10 of that.
Of all the bad dates.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, it was nice to see you again. I hope you enjoy. I hope you're enjoying your dinner.
It's maybe a little cold now, but I'll eat
maybe
it.
a little bit.
It was lovely though.
It was nice to see you, and have a good night. I hope you enjoy your night.
Thanks. You too.
See you,
All right.
Kate.
See ya.
Bye bye.